Today's eMoney tip of the week is on scenarios, and more importantly, how to show a premature death scenario. In a previous tip, we talked about how our team, we use alternatives. We will put every advanced technique into this scenario, and then what we will do is we will copy by duplicating and put in other scenarios. If we're going to add any other advanced techniques, we always delete any other scenario we've built, go into alternatives, and duplicate it. But there's always, anytime we want to show premature death, we always want to create two more scenarios, and I'm going to tell you why in a second here. So I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to come up in here to alternatives. And so when we go into alternatives, and then by clicking on the advanced plan, we come into retire and death assumptions. One of the things we're going to notice here is we can change the death age of one spouse, but if we only want to highlight one spouse dying once and one spouse die another time, we can't do that in the same scenario. So for example, if we want to show this particular client dying at age 50, we can't change it around on the button here. So what I mean by that is when we come in the Decision Center and we click on that, by the way, I have no facts for this client, so you're going to see nothing on this. This is just a sample client. We're going to look at alternatives. When I turn this on and off, I'm only showing one spouse dying. How can I show them two different alternatives? Well, real simply, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to come under scenarios. We're going to duplicate this. Again, anything else you'd want to build out for this client, build it out first inside of there. And we're going to say Pam, premature death. That's the spouse that is the wife. In this particular case, her name is Pam. So we're going to click on that. We're going to go into advanced plan. We're going to click on here. And we're going to change this around. And we're going to say, okay, assumed date of death, we're going to go to Pam, and we're going to say Pam is going to pass away at 50. Now we're going to save that, and in a bonus one, we're going to actually change the name. I'm going to click back here. I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to say Pam, premature death at 50. So I know exactly what it is, and more importantly, the client sees it customized to them as well too. So now, when you're in a scenario and you're showing a client, you can actually easily drop down, have the button already on, and say, what if you passed away? Also, if you're building out all those techniques in advanced plan, under the alternatives, you copy and pasted it, not only would this be in here, but every other radio field that you have done for that client would be in there. We'll go ahead and do this again for the spouse. So for the spouse, we're going to hit duplicate here, and we're going to put, in this case, his name is Jim. Jim, premature death. We're going to go in here to advanced plan. We're going to go here and change this. In this case, it's going to be Jim. So we're going to say Jim dies at 50. Okay. We're going to rename it again. This is going to be Jim, premature death. You might want to have other scenarios in here. You might want to change things around, not just that it shows them dying off. You might want to have different expenses and different goals that you can switch on this scenario. We're keeping it very basic for here, but now you can see we have these scenarios. So now when I'm on Decision Center and I'm talking to the client about the what ifs, I'm going to compare their base fact. I'm going to go to alternatives. I'm going to turn a bunch of things on and off inside of here. I'll typically have 10 to 15 different radio fields inside here for a client. But I can switch quickly to a Jim, premature death, and a Pam. And hit home. The reason why we're not doing this under alternatives is because I would have to, in front of the client, to switch it around, click on here, and then I would have to click in here in front of a client. I do not want to be inside advanced techniques any more than I have to. I want to stay in this screen with clients, so I want to have those radio fields already readily available to me in here. The last reason why is I want to be able to rename it, and I want to be able to customize it. So instead of retirement/death assumptions, I want to say Jim. If I put both the clients in there, I'd have to say Jim or Pam, and it also helps me to remember what I'm doing in front of a client. We hope this tip helped educate and empower you to do more plans for your clients so that you can impact more lives through financial planning. If you have some great tips we don't know about, we'd love to hear about them. If you have a better way of doing what we just showed you, we'd love to hear about that, because we are a noble profession, and together we can elevate the profession.